Good afternoon, folks. It's Tom again with Lindsay Mountain Ranch. We're out here during the second feeding with the bucket babies. They're not bottled. We don't use bottles, so we're bucket babies here on Lindsay Mountain Ranch. But I thought I'd go over a little bit. Our paddock's a little bit different for these guys as compared to that of the juvenile cows. The juvenile cows or cattle have a single strand paddock, where these guys are just getting trained to this. So we got to have two strands of poly wire. And I've got a little bit bigger paddock for these guys because they don't move as well as what the juvenile cows do. The juvenile cows are probably around around 8 months old, and these guys are a matter of maybe 4 weeks old, 6 weeks old, somewhere around in there. But another thing we do here is on the feeding, they have a sweet grain to kind of get them used to, introduce them to eating grains, and then we have a mineral mix for them like we do the bigger cows. Water. The biggest difference too on the feeding is we feed these guys twice a day out of these buckets. And what I do is I put a couple of T-posts in and throw a pallet over it, and then we put the buckets on them. These are 8-quart buckets, and that way we don't have to stand there and hold bottles. You know, it's just not time effective to bottle feed multiple cows. And even if you use the bottle holders, it doesn't work real well. We've found these buckets, they really take to the buckets, and the buckets a whole little, you know, they get a little extra feed that way too. But we do this twice a day. These guys here, let me see if I can move this guy. Come on, come on, come on, let's go over here. Come on, let's go on the other side. Come on. There you go. Here. Come on. There you go. So anyway, this is a milk replacer with, we have a powdered electrolyte mix in there too. And these guys, we've really got our butts handed to us this year with the bottle babies. They're really hard to manage. They're really labor intensive. And when they have diarrhea, like most of them do when you get them, it's just almost an uphill battle if you don't. You just really got to stay on them. And so we found that we started giving them bottle electrolyte water, and but you know, it's like $5 a bottle. So Diane found us a powder that we could buy in bulk at 20, I think it's 5 pounds or something like that, I think. So it's a powder, and this way it goes a lot further. And so we give this to them. We were giving it to them pretty heavy twice a day in their water. We make a mix of the electrolyte in with their warm water and their milk replacer, and and we give it to them twice a day, so they're getting 16 quarts of feed a day, which might be a little much, but they're healthy though. And they're starting to eat the grass here, not the way I'd like for them to just yet, but you can see how they're going after the milk replacer. They're not quite ready to be turned out loose yet just on the fields. You know, they're still babies. Once we see them starting to eat that grain over that sweet grain, then we know they're really taking off. But like right now, we've had them on this for a couple of weeks. I think we've had them a couple of weeks, so we've had them on a heavy dose of the electrolytes, and their poo's starting to thicken up in that, and that's a good sign. So what we've started doing is we'll start backing them off the electrolytes a little bit. Instead of giving them 20 ounces per bucket, we'll go down to like 10. And then once they start eating more of this grass out here, we'll cut them back to like one time a day feeding on these buckets. And we'll cut the electrolytes all the way out and that type of thing. We just kind of wean them off slowly. But right now, I mean, these little guys are doing good. I mean, they came from a big farm up in California, Missouri. They had thousands of Angus up there. And, you know, they've just got all kinds of stuff. But we watch their poo pretty closely. It tells us a lot. You know, this guy here, he's already got his fill, you know, so he's good. and he's, you know, he's one of the bigger ones. Oh, there he goes. Now, see, it's still a little runny, but not real bad though. Yeah, it's getting solid now. So he's getting there. He's getting there. So that's anyway. So anyway, that's kind of a, this is a big paddock for the baby, for the bucket babies, and the difference between them, we still use the poly wire except for 2 strands. It's more work to set up, and and then the feeding you know, is a little more intensive. So we gotta fix quite a bit more feed for them with this milk, but they're doing good though. So all right, thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.